Hi there, welcome to the Museum of Cornish Life in Helston. My name's Abby and today I'll be going for our Automata collection and exhibition here in Helston. So what are automata? Automata are figures which are powered by wind, water, hand, electricity, you name it, they can be powered. In terms of history, it is debated whether they originally started in ancient Egypt or ancient Greece, although there is still some arguments over when it originally started. But moving over to the 1400s, Leonardo da Vinci created a lion automata which boosted the popularity of such automatas and sort of brought them into the public presence. Then moving on into the 1800s to 1900s, automata themselves became easier, quicker and cheaper to make. Therefore, they started coming into people's public homes, started to become more popular and just nice little presents for people occasionally as well. Then moving on to the 2000s, today the focus has moved from cheap, easy commodities to more artistic expression. In the 1970s, the cabaret opened in Falmouth by Sue Jackson, which sort of brought together some Cornish artists, and they helped create some of the automata featured in this exhibition, which helps bring this connection to Cornwall. In 2018, approximately 60 automatas were featured in Falmouth, in the cabaret by people of Falmouth, although they may not necessarily have lived here or been born here, they're still part of Cornwall and therefore they've helped influence the artistic culture. Right, so let's show a couple of these exhibits then. So the first one here, it's named Constellations with Joan Miro. It's made by Carlos Zapata. So Carlos was born in Colombia during the Civil War, now lives in Cornwall. His work often reflects his personal experience and includes political themes. He was given the Threadneedle Art Project, or Art Prize, now Columbia Threadneedle Prize in 2013. He's quite expressive, bright, colourful, elements of movement such as the wheels featured, and it's just quite a nice little piece used to sort of showcase a theme of constellations. Moving on. So the next one's called A Wolf in Sheep's Clothing. This one is by Keith Newstead. Keith Newstead himself, he was born in Essex and developed an interest in automata early in his life, and inspired by the penny arcades he created as a child, he wanted to make his automatons fun and entertaining for those who were viewing them. Model kits of his automata are created so that people could try making their own at home. And although he did pass away in 2020, he's still prominent and he always leaves a mark on the artistic automaton world, and it's just nice, bright features of fables. Moving on, we've got Hemi's Chair here by Carlos Zapata again. Simplistic in nature, note the little features such as the art palette, the little cup on the chair, and while it's simple, it sort of makes an impact, and it's just a nice little automaton which can be viewed quite simply and easily, and it's just a nice little feature. Moving on now, we've got this automaton called Sailing by Robert Jones. Robert Jones, he was born in Cornwall, and he worked on fishing boats, which gave him an interest in the maritime subjects that he uses in his artwork. As you can see it moving here, it is quite a simple mechanic, but it's effective as in its movement. And if you can see it here, the globe itself moves around as the automaton moves around, which is quite a nice little feature as well to view. So I think, although it doesn't have any colour, it's still quite bright and expressive. So this next one's, it's labelled God's Wonderful Railway, and it's by Keith Newstead again. So as mentioned before, Keith Newstead, born in Essex. He has the theme of entertainment, so bright, expressive, connection to Cornwall through the themes of the Tamar. We've got all the roads and the sort of features of Cornwall as well featured on there. And when you press the button, you can see here the globe moves around in the middle, and the nice little expressive people. You've got also featured a little cat, you've got the conductor, and you've got the sort of seagull, and also you've got the visitors there. One gentleman's not looking particularly happy, but still it's quite nice and expressive. And it's just a nice little piece, that one. Moving on. So this one's called Green Shopping. It's an automaton by Peter Markey. Peter Markey is known as the father of Falmouth Automata. He was a teacher at Falmouth School where he encouraged students to create automatas A recently restored mural that he designed in 1984 can be found at Weber Street in Falmouth. The themes here, quite bright, prominent, fun, and although simplistic in nature, he does try to push the limits of themes and expressiveness. Right, our next one, we've got Brian's Brilliant Bike, again by Keith Newstead, Essex artist, but he likes putting little features in these automatons as he goes along. So note, as I press the button, the cat's moving its little paws, the bunny's moving with a little watch in its paws as well. And then also, as the guy is pedalling, you can see little mice on the wheel turning around and around, which is quite nice little details. You always find something new as you approach it each time. So this next one's called Harry. It's a fish-based automaton made by Richard Hackney. Richard Hackney himself specialises in metalwork and is an environmentalist who uses recycled and found objects in his work to express himself. This is quite a nice little piece. It's simplistic in nature, but it's also maritime theme, and that connection to Cornwall sort of pushes that out as well. And it's a positive example of using recycled material to create art projects. These next two are both by Peter Markey, as previously mentioned before. He was known as the father of Falmouth Automata, a teacher at Falmouth School, so strong connection to Cornwall. He uses expressiveness, but in these examples it's two different types, one that's colourful and bright and the other which doesn't feature any colour, but it's still quite a nice little sort of theme just to compare them both. Right, this bottom one here, it's called Ships Passing, an automaton by Patrick Bond. So Patrick Bond, he was born in Surrey and now lives in Falmouth. He uses scrap metal in his automata and particularly enjoys creating obscure doorbells. But you can see through his art that he's expressive, he's colourful, he does like to create pieces which are unique, which is quite a nice way to reflect a maritime theme. And it's just a nice little piece, that one. Right, so this next one here, it's called Green Ride by Peter Markey, artist we previously mentioned. Again, nice little theme, bright, colourful, sort of like green shopping. And as you press the button here, the guy's little legs move, he's got little flowers in his arms, and I just like the little bright expressiveness on that one. Right, after that, this one's called View from the Vandermeer. It's an automaton by Carla Zapata once again. So he's expressive, bright, Cornish theme of seagulls, because who doesn't love a good seagull, to be honest? And then if I press the button here, you can see them moving up and down in a 3. Quite a basic concept, but still really effective and a nice little way to reflect a maritime theme. And it's also just bright and colourful. So our last but not least, this is an automaton called Cats and Birds. It's by Susan Evans. She's an artist that uses mainly recycled wood and driftwood in her pieces. Makes it quite unique, expressive, and it's just nice small little features you can see. So if I press the button here, you see the cat's head is moving there, left to right, and also the birds bob up and down as it moves as well. This is a more complex looking automaton, but it's still nice and, you know, expressive in nature, and it's just good to know it's made out of recycled materials as well. So, right, that's everything today that I can give you on the exhibition, but hopefully you can come and visit and see more items here. I hope you enjoyed this talk, and hopefully we'll see you.